saw yesterday, we have started probably the core issue of this course to see how free and open source software gets developed. What is free and open source software can be answered in two ways. One is free and open source software can be a product specific issue. Any product can be a free and open source software provided what? Any software product can be free and open source software provided it uses certain licensing scheme which gives users the four freedoms. That is one. Second is, we are seeing the process perspective. That is, any software which is developed using a particular process, can it become free and open source software? That's the question. And if there is such a process, what is it? And all software following such processes, will it become free and open source? These are the questions. So primarily product perspective and process perspective. We have to answer both. We have seen the first part, now we are seeing the second part. To understand what is the process, as I have said in the textbook and in the normal research process, what people do is, they take some successful cases and try to see why things happen. So, I think it is a common process followed by almost everyone. If you want to study business, if you want to know what are the good business practices, you see successful business. In fact, Greeks started this practice very earlier, trying to understand who is a good man, virtue-based. See a good man, list all the things in him, take that list, go to someone. If you have this quality, then you are a good man, otherwise that practice is there. So here also people are doing the same thing. We are taking some successful free and open source software and then trying to see how they are developed, so that we may draw some lessons. Now, as I said, we are seeing four products here, four successful products: Apache, Mozilla Firefox, GNOME, and FreeBSD. We are seeing four products. Something is missing. Superstar product.
Linux
Emacs. Most important thing is missing. More crucial center thing is missing. Superstar product in FOSS. No Linux itself. No Linux itself is missing. Right? That's where everything started. No Linux. No Linux itself is not research. Why you should think? I mean, that's because of particular way of selecting research articles. It's not that people are not worrying about GNU Linux. Maximum focus is there on GNU Linux itself. But when compared to all these products, GNU Linux has a problem. Despite whatever we say here, GNU Linux is not that popular, almost not. Does anyone know in the entire share of operating systems, what is the share of GNU Linux? Roughly
17 to 19%.
Huh?
17 to.
Okay, 5 to 10%.
7.
Total operating system. Okay, any other guesses?
17 to 19%.
17, 19. Any other number? 30. 30. 30. Not in the Yeah. It's very, very low. Less than 5%. You can see the latest numbers also, February 2011 numbers. It is still there. Less than 2% of the entire operating system users use Linux. This is the actual state.
So even enterprise level also? Enterprise, including enterprises?
Total operating system users in the world. First is Windows XP. percent Windows 7, then Mac OS, then very small, more than 40% is Windows XP, 20-25% Vista, then Windows 7, then Mac, then all through that. So that is one reason maybe. The entire and why people don't use and all, I don't think we should be asking. This is the numbers. You can go and see the numbers. See, based on the web access, this is calculated. If anybody running their own websites will know. If you see the log statistics, we can easily find out what was the operating system the client was using. Using that statistics, they compile the monthly report. That is available. Please see that. Does it disappoint someone like me? No. As I keep saying, we are not playing a number game at all. Do I want all the world to use GNU Linux? Hardly bothers me. As far as possible, we try to propagate the idea, but we are not in a number game. Definitely not in a number. So it does not bother me big time. There are various ways to see this number. Anyway, so before I start, of course there are other two things which you have to worry, which are not there in the list. That unfortunately, two other superstar products, MySQL, OpenOffice.org. Before I start, I should say something about these two. MySQL at a point of time was something which we were showing to everyone. Something, if people ask me, what is that you have given free and open source community? We would say very proudly, see, MySQL is there. How proud we were about MySQL. There was a sense of, what should I say, apna kind of it. It's our product, MySQL, which can stand against all our commercial databases very strongly in whatever aspects of what happened. What happened? Sun with MySQL. Sun was taken over by Oracle. Now if you see MySQL, Oracle down, how should it feel to people like us who have been carrying MySQL on our shoulders and taking everywhere as a direct opponent to Oracle? No, both are together. Very disappointing. That was shocking. Then next shock came. Now of course they all came together. OpenOffice. OpenOffice, we have a strong sentimental relation because OpenOffice is something where MSRID has contributed a lot. When I was actually getting projects, student project, we were actually working on OpenOffice. In fact, some of my students have contributed to the VBA interoperability macros in OpenOffice.org. I mean, even today, if you see, if you Google my name, you will find the presentations which my students have made on VBA interoperability. That's one area which we had concentrated too much in our earlier days of contributing to open source. So, OpenOffice.org has a very, very emotional place in free and open source community. What happened? Open source. Alright. Now there are banner ads everywhere. Oracle presents OpenOffice.org. Get OpenOffice for free. That is a slogan. Go to Oracle site and see OpenOffice. I really can't see that. I saw once and I was, what should I say, very disheartened. What should the movement do? How should it respond to such events? These are turning points in the movement. The entire movement collectively contributes to something, and suddenly you feel that these people who are in the helm of the affairs simply hand it over to a commercial company and wash out their hands. What should we do? There is a technical answer on how to counter this situation. You make a fork, local fork, and then continue. The technical solution is there. Though the entire project is handed over to someone, you create a local fork and then continue with the separate branch. That is what people are doing today. Even with the movement, when such turning points comes, how does the movement react determines how successful that movement will be. I think this was a test case. This OpenOffice.org and MySQL was a test case for the movement. In future, if something like this happens, what will we do? There are two options before us as a movement. One is feel dejected, feel low and say, oh, what can we do? We work so hard, now it's hard. That's one option. Can we gain something with this approach? No. So what is the next best thing we can do? We should formulate some way, some mechanism within the movement so that these things does not repeat in future. So we have found out a way. If you see all these things which we are talking today, they all have something in common. If you see Apache, if you see GNOME, if you see Mozilla, all these things have something in common. Even FreeBSD. What is that? That is, they are not owned by for-profit companies. Everything is owned by a foundation. There is Apache Foundation. There is GNOME Foundation. There is FreeBSD Foundation. There is foundation. Foundation means established legally as not-for-profit organization. So, in future, any free and open source software, when it comes to certain maturity, we have to see that a foundation is formed. So that no small one individual or a group of people who are in control can do something like this, using the efforts of everyone in the world. This is one of the biggest lessons which the community should learn. That is formulating foundation. In US, there is a different way of incorporating a foundation. This is legal subject. In India, there is an option. In India, what can you do is, in the Companies Act, 1956 Companies Act, under which you have to register your companies. I hope you remember some things here. There are many types of companies that can be incorporated. Under that Companies Act 1956, there is an option. Under Section 25 of Companies Act, there is a provision of establishing a not-for-profit organization. So anybody who is interested in starting up a new FOSS project, and if the project is successful after a point of time, they should incorporate a Section 25 company. In that way, we can prevent some poachers coming on tomorrow when you are successful and simply taking you away. See, today, Oracle taking over OpenOffice.org or MySQL is not the question. The question is, they are administrating a slow poison into these projects using various indirect techniques. This is the problem. That is expected also. In a commercial setup, you can't have two products which compete with each other under your portfolio. Can Oracle accommodate Oracle and MySQL under its umbrella? No, what is the best option? You put any option. Hal ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯೋದು, ಹಾಲು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಸಾಯಿಸೋದು. ಈ ಥರ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು Oracle. ಸೊ Oracle is modern ಕೂತನಿ. ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡಪ್ಪ, ಕೇಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
I can't wait Oracle. Well, this is what is happening. So, the lesson that we should learn, the community should learn is, go for a sound, see, don't say that I am a guy who is only worried about coding, I am a hacker, I will just keep on coding, this will happen tomorrow, we are right. You should be aware of how to protect your hard work using the existing laws. You should know that. Foundations are very, very necessary. These projects have remained as free and open source because there was a foundation. Otherwise, even they would have been eaten up by someone. MySQL, OpenOffice kate. Now let's come to whatever the original discussion I want. All the four. I will speak briefly about all these four projects, highlighting their individual stories. Then we can come to the end. Apache, all of you. Apache Foundation. Apache rules the web server market by a large margin. Apache को Steve Jobs को बहुत connection होता है. Many people don't know this. Apache and Steve Jobs have a strange connection. Nothing about this connection. Apache was developed over NCSA server. NCSA server. NCSA HTTPD server was there. HTTPD server. NCSA HTTPD server with all open source projects you should understand does not start from scratch. There will be some working model, somebody will take it over and start improving it. That is how intelligent programmers should work. You know that basic rule of programming, right? Good programmers write program. Great programmers
Steal.
reuse.
No, Steve Jobs modified it.
Reuse is the correct. Reuse. Good programmers write. Great programmers reuse. That's the rule of programming. Don't take it lightly. We don't teach it properly to students. That is why they don't reuse, they steal. So there is a certain difference. You should know how to reuse, not to steal. Well, NCSA server. NCSA server, there was NCSA HTTPD project that was discontinued. So some guys took it over, including Roy Fielding. They found a group and took it over. Now this NCSA HTTPD itself is an offshoot of original HTTPD, Tim Berners-Lee's HTTPD program. That original HTTPD program in CRM was written by Tim Berners-Lee using Next computer. Next. In Next computer, Steve Jobs, Steve Jobs, when he was thrown out of Apple, started one more company and started making Next computers and Next operating system, NEXT. So, Steve Jobs decided what is the system in the HTTPD, NCSA HTTPD, finally Apache. So they are all connected. See, now bit all connect. ಮದುವೆ ಮಾಡಿಸೋದು ನಮ್ಮ ಹಳೆ ಹಾವು ಮಾಡಿಸೋದು ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೂ ಸಂತೋಷ ಪಡೋದು